This is what a panic attack feels like. It is all too familiar, having once experienced it myself. A lot of people could not comprehend how crippling anxiety is. They do not understand how incapacitating anxiety could be, or how fearful it is to go through the experience that we have just been through. I could. I've been through it, and I can teach you how to cope with it. Hey guys, what is up? Shanq Koo right here, and welcome back to another episode of Coping in Your Role. From the opening scene, I assume you already know what I'm going to talk about today. That is anxiety. Anxiety can be pretty crippling when it gets to you, and having experienced it once myself, I know only too well how it feels. I remember vividly that it was during my 5th year of medical school where we had to sit an oral exam. This is my first time seeing an exam in the type of format where the examiners can ask you anything they want as long as it's suitable to your level and is relevant to the clinical scenario. I had a lot of things going on that time. My government loans for my tuition fees were running out, and I've just started a new part-time work where I had to work night shift. I was barely sleeping 3 hours a day, and on top of that, I had to attend clinical tutorials in a hospital that is 2 hours away from where I lived. Needless to say, my preparation for the exam was poor, and I was definitely not in the best condition. I remember when the examiner gave me the clinical scenario and asked me a question, and that's when I froze. Looking back, it wasn't even a difficult question, but at that moment, I just had too much adrenaline running through me that my brain just couldn't function properly. And that is what a panic attack feels like. Fear can make things pretty stressful. Right after the panic attack, bad thoughts ran through my mind. I was having negative thoughts such as, you're weak, depressed, and that is the end. All of this thought came racing through my mind. And even though I know that those feelings were temporary and false, it was very capacitating and a huge blow to my self-esteem at that time. What I do wish is that there was someone there that would explain all of these things to me and tell me that what I was experiencing is okay and everything will be fine. Thankfully, I was a medical student back then, thus I recognized the signs and symptoms. Unfortunately for most of you, you are left to fend for yourself, wondering what the hell is happening to you. Recognizing these symptoms is very important, as if they are left long enough, anxiety can actually have some very damaging effect on your self-esteem and other things that you do in the future. Thus, I hope that through this video, I can raise your awareness about what anxiety is and provide you with some tips and tricks to help you cope with the stressful situation that you're in now. So here are my 3 things to remember if you're experiencing anxiety. Number 1, learn to breathe. During a panic attack, the most important thing is to remember how to breathe. And you have heard me right. Breathe. When applied correctly, breath work can help you to relax and get hold of the situation. Without going into too much details, when we perform breath work, we are physiologically slowing down our heart rates through the activations of several baroreceptors and reset the sympathetic pathways via the brain. As a result, we diminish the overreaction of the fight and flight response, which is the main driver of a panic attack. Breathwork comes in many forms, and to date, there is no really one form of breathwork that's superior compared to the others. The one I use, which is also the one taught to me when I was in the army, and that is the 4-7-8 breathing pattern. Here's how it works. You start off by taking a slow deep breath over a period of 4 seconds. Let's try this together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you hold for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. and you breathe out slowly over 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Instantly, you should feel a bit more relaxed. Now do this over for another 3 times, 4 cycles in total. To date, this breath work has yet to fail me. I use it all the time, not only when I'm just feeling nervous. You can actually use it when you're angry, nervous, upset, or anytime you want to gain control of the situation. In fact, you can also use it to help you to get sleep. So the next time you feel like you're about to or you are spiraling, remember to breathe. Part of the trigger for panic attacks could be new stress, poor sleep hygiene, or poor relaxation techniques. When we experience panic attack, a lot of people start to get afraid that they are going crazy. You are not. You just need to learn how to cope better. While a panic attack may be triggered by a stressful event, there are usually a lot of tiny nitty-gritty lifestyle contributions that may have precipitated it. For example, sleep. We all need sleep. A regular adult requires about 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Sleep allows us to reset our brain, consolidate memories, and plays an important part in learning. Leading up to the period where I first experienced my panic attack, I had terrible sleep pattern. I was working night shifts, restocking stuff at the supermarket, and because of that, I didn't have a regular sleep pattern. During that period of time, my memory was very poor, and it stresses me out when I could not remember what I've studied the day before. As soon as I got back to a more humane working hours and getting plenty of sleep, I'm back to myself in no time. Things that you can also consider to de-stress are such as meditation, relaxation music, yoga, reducing your caffeine intake, and aromatherapy. As important it is to hustle to achieve success in life, it is also important to know when to take breaks. Number 3, remember, there is no shame in seeking help. After we spiral, the first thing that most people experience is shame. Surprisingly, there is a Chinese proverb that describes the aftermath of a panic attack very well, and that is dropping a stone on someone who has just fallen into the well. We are often ashamed that we lose control of our emotions when everyone else around us seems to cope perfectly well in this situation. We blame ourselves for our weakness, and this opens up a whole string of Pandora boxes: guilt, anger, frustration, sadness. And to make things worse, when you feel ashamed, you are less likely to share this with other people as fear of being judged as being weak or fragile. My advice to you, if you're in that position, seek help from medical professionals. We doctors have sworn confidentiality and will be there to help you. Never feel that you are alone and that is the end of the world. Within the 4 walls of our consultation room, there are always alternatives available to help you. Even if you had to take a short course of antidepressants, do it until you get over the phase. Now, I've included several links to some independent institutions that you can check out which offers online therapy if you do prefer to do it from home, especially nowadays it's harder to get into the doctor's rooms with COVID precautions. Remember, at the end of the day, there is always someone there for you. If you do need me to point you in the right direction, remember, drop me an email in the link that I've included in the description below. And that is all, ladies and gentlemen, for today's episode of Coping in Your World. If there's any other type of topics that you would like me to cover, do send me an email or comment in the comments below. I read through every comments. And until then, I'll see you next week.